Hello everyone, the Snowman here, and I've got my all whites on today as we look at my 2021 men's Wimbledon draw preview. Please check out my women's draw preview as well, but focusing on the men in this video, breaking down the draw as I do for most of the big major tennis tournaments throughout the year. So we'll look at the favorites, chances, the dark horses, some of the best popcorn first round matchups, just get you set for everything regarding Wimbledon. And we'll start off with a couple of huge names who will not be in attendance in London. Unfortunately, that's where we'll start. And one of those two big names, sadly, no Rafael Nadal at these championships. Nadal citing the turnaround from Roland Garros to Wimbledon just too quick this year, so he wants to protect his body and prolong his career. Rafa also pulled out of the Olympics later next month, so he'll have to wait for a potential 21st Grand Slam title. No Goffin, Raonic, or Wawrinka as well. We also don't have the world number 5 Dominic Thiem, who was playing in Mallorca this week, injured his right wrist, so unfortunately Domi's going to be out at least 5 weeks. Hopefully he can hurry back in time and be healthy enough for the North American hardcourt swing. But someone who's looking awfully healthy right now is our number 1 seed, Novak Djokovic. Novak proving once again at the French Open that he's an unstoppable, inevitable, inescapable, and unrelenting force of will when he wants to be. Just suffocating Tsitsipas in the final after falling down 2 sets to love. That was after another 2-set comeback against Lorenzo Musetti, and perhaps the match of Djokovic's life, slaying the King of Clay, Nadal, in the semifinals. Djokovic now just 1 Grand Slam away from being level with his 2 greatest rivals, Federer and Nadal, and the odds are in the Serbian's favor in London. Djokovic about a minus 115 favorite to win the Wimbledon title, meaning his chances are slightly above 50%. Of course, he is the 2-time reigning Wimbledon champion. Somehow Djokovic stays hungry after all of his success, so 34, not really slowing down. He's looking to tie Federer and Nadal with number 20. Could be a danger man lurking in the second round, though, in South Africa's Kevin Anderson, a guy who Djokovic met in the 2018 Wimbledon final. Anderson has an excellent grass court resume. That could be a match we at least look back on as one that could, kind of take some energy out of Djokovic. Otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward path to the quarters. Davidovich Fokina is coming off a quarterfinal run at the French. A real breakthrough for the Spaniard, but he's substantially more of a threat on clay. Same goes for another nearby seed in Christian Garin. The 13 seed Gael Monfils has struggled to find even his B or C form this season, let alone his best stuff. And then you look at the bottom portion, number 5 Andrei Rublev will be the favorite on paper, but my eyes veer straight toward the first match of number 19 Jannik Sinner against Marton Fucsovics. That could go 4 or 5 sets in my estimation, Sinning the rising superstar, but Fucsovics so physical and athletic. That'll be a great test for Sinner to see how quickly he can end the rallies. He's not going to want to engage in a back and forth grind fest for 3 or 4 hours, but the grass should help with that, especially in the early days when the grass is fresher. Rallies tend to be shorter, and if Sinner gets by Fucsovics, I give him a great chance of meeting Novak in the quarters. One other floater to keep your eyes peeled for, Yeri Vesely. He upset Sasha Zverev in the first round 2 years ago. Pulling up the second section now, and the question is simple for the 3 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. How well does he recover physically and emotionally from that draining 5-set final defeat at the hands of Novak Djokovic in Paris? Tsitsipas undoubtedly one of the best young stars in our game today. He's got a firm stranglehold on the number 2 position in the ATP Finals race this year. Back-to-back-to-back semifinal appearances at Grand Slams now, but the only problem, Steph has struggled mightily at Wimbledon in the past. Just a 3-3 career record at this major, including a first-round exit when it was last played in 2019, losing to Thomas Fabiano. And not an ideal draw for Tsitsipas, A, just because he's on the same half as Djokovic this time, and B, he's got to play big foe Frances Tiafoe in the first round. Tiafoe can take over a match with his thunderous forehand, and again, Tsitsipas has only been past the first round once at Wimbledon, so please don't overlook Tiafoe, who tends to raise his level during the Grand Slams. Number 25, Karen Hatchinav, a potential third-round opponent for Tsitsipas. I like Dan Evans against Feliciano Lopez on the grass. That one should draw a nice crowd. The 15-seed Alex Demonor already has a couple of semifinal appearances this grass season, but he could be on upset alert against the talented Sebastian Korda. And then because of the absences of Nadal and Thiem, this bottom part of Section 2 could be the most wide-open area. You have Roberto Bautista Agut as the top seed, the 8 seed at the bottom, and he's a fine grass court player in his own right, but this is a huge opportunity for number 10 Denis Shapovalov to make a run to the quarterfinals. even number 27, Riley Opelka, to follow up his success in Paris with a deep run. But really, Shapo, who just made the semifinals at Queen's Club, I feel like Wimbledon will be his best bet to win a major throughout his career for the obvious reasons about his power, serve, and net play. But also, look, as a Shapovalov fan, the longer a rally goes, the more I feel can go astray. Because of his extended windup, there's not a lot of compactness and consistency in his ground strokes, hits a ton of unforced errors. That's why I think his ceiling is highest on the grass. The ability to end the points quickly is at its best on this surface, and this is a pretty favorable draw for Shapovalov. Then how about Sir Andy Murray? Always must see at Wimbledon, a place where he's won 2 titles along with an Olympic gold. Worth noting, though, Murray only has 2 tour-level wins this year, and one was against Benoit Paire, so we're not going to really count that one. Andy hasn't been to the third round of a major in 4 years since Wimbledon in 2017. Murray, you think, would be on center court against the Georgian Nicolas Basilashvili. Some heavyweight fighters in quarter number 3. The 7-seed Mateo Beretini quietly putting up some phenomenal numbers this year. He's 26-6 overall, just won the biggest title of his career at Queen's Club, the 500 event. Serving has been off the charts. His hold percentage this season is at 90%. Only John Isner and Milos Raonic are holding serve at a higher rate than the 22-year-old Italian. Berettini has big weapons to go far. Only Raonic is winning more points when he gets his first serve in play. But Berettini could see the aforementioned Isner in the third round. Nobody ever wants to play Big John at Wimbledon. One, because of his stellar grass court record, but also, you know, you could be in for a long match when you see John Isner. He's participated in the 2 longest Grand Slam matches of all time, both at Wimbledon. Number 20, Aslan Karatsev, will fancy his chances to reach the 4th round. His opposite seed, the 12-seed Casper Ruud, just picked up his first ever tour-level grass court victory in Mallorca this week. Ruud, much more of a clay court beast, so I'll take Karatsev in that mini section. Then we get to some fun matchups. We see number 16, Felix Auger-Aliassime, who had a nice comeback win against his idol Roger Federer in Halle. Joe Willie Tsonga against Michael Emer is tasty, but the match of the first round has to be the incomparable Nick Kyrgios versus the 21-seed Hugo and Bear. That's right, Nick Kyrgios is back. This will be his first time playing outside of Australia in 16 months. But we know how potent his game is on grass. He absolutely loves Wimbledon. The huge serve, big groundies, and effective slice make him a pain to play when he's locked and loaded. Never a player that contenders want to meet early on. And I've really missed Nick the last year or two. I get that he's not everyone's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, he's entertaining us, and he's doing his career the way that he wants on his own terms. So I'm always going to enjoy watching him. Meanwhile, Hugo and Bear coming off an astonishing run in Halle to win that 500 title a week ago. 2 top 10 wins, beating Zverev and Rublev. Also took out Auger-Aliassime and Sebi Korda. Umber's game is tailor-made for the grass. Powerful serve, just like Kyrgios. Soft hands at the net, and Umber is a lefty, so that's always tricky too. He's up to a career-high ranking of 25, so that's the match to watch. I'd love to see Kyrgios excel and set up a 4th-round date with the 4-seed Alexander Zverev. Zverev, a few weeks removed from his valiant comeback attempt in the Roland Garros semis against Tsitsipas. Remember, he was another top male player who lost in the first round of Wimbledon back in 2019. That was a shocker to Yeri Vesely, so don't just pencil in the German straight away to the quarterfinals. And looking at the final section, the world number 2, Daniil Medvedev, is our headliner, fresh off of breaking his duck at Roland Garros and charging all the way to the quarterfinals. Medvedev looking to keep the pressure on Djokovic in terms of the ATP rankings. He can become number 1 with a deep run, and Novak failing to win the title. Playing in Mallorca this week, he's in the semifinals there, just beat Casper Ruud. But Medi has to play in the first round a player he just lost to in Halle, Jan-Lennard Struff, and that's a less than ideal draw for the Russian. Struff is going to pound the corners, try to stay close to the baseline and just pepper away. Medvedev also might have to worry about the 32-seed Marin Cilic. Not only a former Wimbledon finalist, but he boasts the 5th highest win percentage on grass among active players at 72%. Only the big 4 are ahead of him on grass, and Cilic in excellent form, recently winning his first title in 3 years a couple of weeks ago in Stuttgart, dispatching the 2 young Canadians, Shapovalov and Auger-Aliassime, in the process. So keep an eye there on Marin. And at the top, you see a man who needs no introduction, number 6, the Swiss Maestro, Roger Federer. He comes in with 8 Wimbledon trophies in the trophy case, but boy, would he love to make it 9. Didn't show the best form in Halle, but for me, it's all about his body. At age 39, I know his game is good enough. His serve alone is going to get him to the 3rd round here, but can his body hold up for 7 rounds, especially with perhaps a 3rd round encounter with the 29 seed Cam Norrie on the horizon? Norrie, 33 victories this season, the second most in 2021, only behind Tsitsipas. 3 finals in Estoril, Lyon, and London last week, losing to Beretini in the Queen's Club final. But he's going to have the home field advantage. 5 top 20 wins this year. He had 4 career top 20 wins before this season. Federer and Norrie in the third round would be a dazzling display of grass court tennis. But overall, it's a relatively kind draw for Roger. No Nadal team around it. Sort of makes everyone's path just a little bit more manageable. And if I had to pick one guy from each section, I am going to go with Djokovic. I'll take Shapo, Mateo Beretini, and Fed, with Novak by far the favorite to win at Wimbledon. And thank you so much for watching my men's Wimbledon draw preview. Please leave a comment. Let me know who you think is going to do well at this event. If you think Djokovic is going to get major number 20, please check out my women's draw preview as well. And thanks a lot. Subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media, though, for more tennis, soccer, and basketball content. Cheers.